But as we all know, with great power comes great, well, let's just say things can get complicated. This isn't just a story about a lucky soldier. It's a fascinating look at power, social class, and the unpredictable nature of fate. He's got little to his name but his uniform and his sword. Suddenly, he meets an old witch on the road. There's a hollow tree nearby, and if he climbs down into it, he'll find a chamber filled with treasure. All she wants in return is an old tinderbox that his grandmother supposedly left down there. Easy enough, right? The soldier, being brave, and perhaps a little reckless, agrees. He climbs down and finds not one, but 3 chambers. The first is filled with copper coins, guarded by a dog with eyes as big as teacups. The soldier fills his pockets. The second chamber has silver coins, guarded by a dog with eyes as big as mill wheels. He swaps the copper for silver. And in the third and final chamber, he finds gold coins, guarded by a massive dog with eyes as big as round towers. He ditches the silver and stuffs his pockets, his hat, and even his boots with gold. He's rich beyond his wildest dreams. He also remembers to grab the old tinderbox for the witch. Now, our soldier isn't the most patient man. Annoyed by her secrecy, and maybe a little drunk on his newfound power, he draws his sword and, well, let's just say the witch is no longer part of our story. The soldier takes the gold and the tinderbox and heads to the nearest town. Life changes overnight. He buys the finest clothes, stays in the grandest inns, and makes friends with everyone who loves a good time and a free meal. He hears stories about the town's beautiful princess, who is locked away in a copper castle. A prophecy foretold she would marry a common soldier. So the king and queen keep her hidden to prevent it. The soldier, now a wealthy gentleman, is intrigued. He desperately wants to see her. But how? The castle is heavily guarded. As you can probably guess, his lavish lifestyle doesn't last forever. One day, he wakes up to find he has only a few coins left. He's forced to move from his luxurious suite to a tiny attic room. All his friends disappear. He's alone and poor once more. He strikes it once, just to light a candle. The soldier, stunned, asks for some money. The dog vanishes and returns with a bag full of copper coins. He strikes the tinderbox twice, and the silver guarding dog appears. 3 strikes summon the gold guarding dog. The soldier suddenly realizes the true treasure wasn't the gold, but the tinderbox itself. He's not just rich again. He's powerful. With his fortune restored, what's the first thing he wants? To see the princess, of course. He summons the first dog and asks it to bring her to him. That night, the dog carries the sleeping princess on its back to the soldier's room. He's so captivated by her beauty that he can't resist giving her a kiss. Then, the dog takes her back to the castle before anyone notices she was gone. The next morning, the princess tells her parents about a strange dream she had of riding on a dog's back and being kissed by a soldier. The queen is clever. The following night, she has a lady-in-waiting watch over the princess. The lady sees the dog carry the princess away and follows them. She marks the soldier's door with a chalk cross. But the dog is even cleverer. It sees the cross and proceeds to mark every single door in the entire town with an identical cross. The next day, the king and queen are stumped, unable to find the right house. The queen, however, doesn't give up. She devises another plan. She sews a small bag of flour onto the princess's dress, with a tiny hole in it. That night, when the dog carries the princess away, the flour leaves a trail all the way to the soldier's new lodgings. This time, they've got him. On the day of his execution, he stands on the scaffold with no way to access his tinderbox, which he left back in his room. This is the moment he's been waiting for. He takes out his tinderbox and strikes it 1, 2, 3 times. Instantly, all 3 enormous dogs appear. They toss the judge and the counselors into the air, so high they shatter into pieces when they fall. They grab the king and queen and do the same. The crowd is terrified, but they are also impressed. They shout for the soldier to be their new king and to marry the princess. And so, the common soldier, through a mix of luck, courage, and a bit of ruthlessness, rides through the city in the king's carriage. The princess is freed from her copper castle and becomes his queen. The 3 magical dogs sit at the wedding feast, their eyes shining brighter than ever. So what can we take away from this wild ride? The Tinderbox is a story about rapid social climbing. Our soldier goes from being a poor nobody to a rich gentleman, back to a poor nobody, and finally, to a king. His journey shows how quickly fortunes can change. It also questions the idea of justice. Was the soldier a hero or a villain? He robs and kills the witch, and indirectly causes the death of the royal family. Yet, he's rewarded with a kingdom and a princess. Andersen seems to be playing with the idea that in the game of power, the rules of morality can be flexible. The story also highlights the theme of fate versus free will. The prophecy said the princess would marry a common soldier, and despite all the king's efforts to prevent it, it comes true. The tinderbox itself is a symbol of power. At first, the soldier only understands the power of money. The tinderbox is darker and more morally ambiguous than many of Andersen's other tales. It is a raw and exciting story that forces us to think about what we would do with unlimited power. Would we be benevolent rulers? Or would we let that power corrupt us? It's a question that's as relevant today as it was in the 1830s. What do you think? Is the soldier a hero to be admired or a cautionary tale? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a classic fairy tale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories behind the stories. Thanks for watching.
Good night from Sleepy Tale.